Roll back. This is Faze One, and I just jumped out the porch with Dirty Glove Bastard.
Can't even clear my throat, this me, you know what I'm saying? Or you can't beat for me, hold on the frequency, bitch.
All right, y'all. We got Forever and Inspiration, Seeking Eternity, Faze One, jumping off the porch with us today. What's up, bro?
Hey, man, I'm doing the best I can do.
Yes, sir. That's what's
alive.
up, bro. That's all we can do, right?
That's true.
Yes, sir. Man, it's a pleasure having you, bro. Coming to grace the porch.
The honor is mine.
Yes, sir. No, for sure, bro. So, Faze One, first of all, how did you come up, how did you get your name? How did you come up with the name?
The name literally came in a dream. I was 13 years old. There was this man. He walked up to me, had an all-white gown on. It was like a suit. And a big afro, melanin dominant man. And he said, your name is Faze One. I used to go by Young Rage. Okay. Right, Young Cosmic at one point in time. But then I, decided on the Faze One when he gave me that name. And at first I thought it was P-H-A-S-E-O-N-E, but I wrote it down on a white construction paper with blue ink, F-A-I-S-E-O-N-E. And then the acronym came, Forever and Inspiration, Seeking Eternity, Omari Never Ends. That's how we got there.
Wow.
Yeah, so literally, that name didn't even come from this plane. It came from outside.
Yeah, no, I can dig it. I can dig it. And I mean, like at such a young age, you were enlightened. Mm-hmm. Where does that come from, bro?
All of it, or just?
I mean, just how at such a young age were you, like speaking, speaking in this tongue and able to just gain this knowledge of self so early.
Righteous. You ever heard of Dr. Malachi Z. York?
Yep, absolutely.
Dr. Malachi Z. York is responsible. My mother is responsible. My father, the whole community I came up in, the Nuwaubian community is responsible. So you ever heard about the Nuwaubians? This is what Nuwaubu is. Nuwaubu isn't just dressing the part, looking the part, put it on the ankh, saying Rahubad, which means greetings. It's not that. It's the ability to pull in people from whatever walk of life they're coming from and ask them, hey, let's sit down at the table. You may be Muslim, you may be Christian, you may be Buddhist, you may be atheist. All right, all we need y'all to do is just sit at the table. We don't need you to agree on whether or not it's Teo or God or nobody or the universe. We just need you to be able to sit down at the table, or what I say, everybody pick up a brick. You know what I'm saying? Your brick, it'll do the same thing that this other person does. I don't need you to believe in his. Just everybody put the bricks down, all right? Lay the bricks so we can build what we here to build. And that's what I was taught in Nuwaubu by Dr. Malachi Z. York. He gave it to me as I was born into it. I'm 26 now. You know what I'm saying? So my parents came into the information before I was birthed here. So everything that everybody out here talking about, the woke stuff, all of that, that's like a watered down version of what I was given straight out the womb or even before then. You understand that?
And Dr. Malachi, I mean, he's, I feel like he, sharing the knowledge that, he had been sharing. And, a lot of times people are intimidated, by, people having knowledge of self, right? Being self-aware, right? And spread knowledge like that. And I know that he's been in jail for a while and has like basically a life sentence. Do you feel that, like the fear that like the masses or the man or, whatever we want to call it, like, is that, a reason why, he is, in the position that he's currently in? I mean, I know he has these allegations, these for sure. Really, deep allegations. But.
Right. Well, yeah, I was there for all of that too. We saw how all the conspiracy played out. A lot of the people that popped up in the media, we know them and we know what the motives were and everything. So whether or not it's the man or the masses in their fear, at this point, I used to have my own narrative of it. At this point, I think only God knows, meaning only that which is unknown is known in that field. You understand? Because I can speak for these people and why they did a thing. But when you're dealing with somebody like Dr. Malachi Z. York, most people underestimate the type of man we're talking about. You understand that? So some people could have been in position to do certain things, make certain things happen. In the way that he taught, he already said these things were going to come about. He already said they're going to come. The last class he was giving, he was telling everybody, y'all better go back and read that story, that Jesus story when they had him in prison and questioned him and know about the GBI, FBI. So my point is, it could have been because some people might say that it's because of the fear, they feared him. Okay, that could be one of the reasons. It can also be because of the hatred and the envy amongst some of his own people. All right, some people, sometimes his own family. Okay, it could have been that. It could have been orchestrated by forces that we don't really understand. So at this point, me traveling this far along the road, if you would have asked me that 6, 7 years ago, that probably would have been one of those answers. But now I'm telling you, the only one who knows is who. The only one who knows is the unknown. What it is, and everybody is on their own journey. And I know this from working up close right now with the freedom fight of Dr. Malachi York, and having to work with so many different people, and they got so many different stories and outlooks on who he is and what he, and it's just, you really pay attention. It seems like the one who has the most control over this is him. You see what I'm saying? And that's even right to this point where he can walk out now, but the way he wants to come out, he's making it known to people, but they're not listening, even in the tribe. So at this point, it's not the government. At this point, I'm not one of those people that say, oh, it's the man. It's not. At this point, it isn't that. At this point, it's a teacher comes and teaches. Do you get the message? And if your message is unity, you can't fake it. You have to actually do that. You actually put on the, or submerge yourself in the unity essence. Or he's explaining to you how things are going to happen. He already told us this whole thing. Does this make sense to you? So it's like, okay, when the disciples are in the upper room and everybody's shocked to see him, he said, didn't I tell you all these things were going to play out? Right. It's that story of why you're looking for the living amongst the dead. It's that same type situation. And the more every layer you pull off, it's like you think you figured it out. And it's, this man, Dr. Malachi York, is not a normal human being. He never was, never will be. And this isn't a normal story. So everybody's going to have their opinions of it and all of that. The question is, what was the message pulling out of you? You, literally, I could do another thing in the mirror. What about you? When you heard Dr. Malachi York, what came to you? What was it that you found? Some people will stop at the information. Some people stop at the allegations. Some people will go further and say, let me take this walk and see what it means to put on these sandals and go out in these communities. And if they don't accept me, I dust them off. You get what I'm saying? Yeah, so all of that is to say that when the best person to ask that will be him. Because everybody else would just only have our own vantage point of what it looks like to us. Keep in mind, when he was kidnapped by the government, when he was arrested, as they say, or when he left the scene, that was May 8, 2002. I was 3 years old. So I only have 23 years of information and experience and wisdom collected after that point. You know, the best person to ask is when he come out, ask, you know what I'm saying, to ask him.
No, for sure.
And he'll explain.
So let's take it back, and I want to really build with you and get an understanding of who you are. Are you originally from Decatur, Georgia? Or
I'm from Atlanta.
Okay.
I'm from somewhere everywhere though.
Yeah.
So Atlanta, all the Summer Hill, Venetian Hill, somewhere in around the West End area. But also I was in Decatur. I went to Matinee Middle School.
Word. For
sure. And I went to DeKalb Elementary School of the Arts. I graduated Carver High School. I've been all around whatever they say Atlanta is.
Yeah.
For sure.
And what was your household like for you, growing up?
What was it like? It was different. My my mother, I call her my Umi.
Yeah.
My Umi has 8 children, and each and every one of us have our own independent personality. So it ain't like everybody has and everybody's gifted. So it was interesting. Anybody that was coming from the outside in said it was weird, because everybody has gifts. Everybody's having visions. We all being trained. Some people picking up the magic. Some people going here. We got intellectuals. We got tech geniuses. So, and then all of us are out here in the world of Babylon after they took our land. So then we like the Avengers out here, and we've been picked on in the school system. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Because we different. We were never supposed to be like these people. And when they took our land, it really was like, you have to understand, we were being jump-started as youth, right? Some of them weren't birthed into it, but even still not being birthed into it, after they took the land, you still being brought up in the sciences. So being put into the public school system, it was like, you got everybody standing for the pledge. We're not. That's a problem. Yeah. You got people worshiping, and celebrating Black History Month. We don't do that. That's a problem. You got people saying, and we coming through with the truth. Christopher Columbus discovered America. Excuse me, and I'm 5. No, he didn't. My ancestors were here. Here go, yep. Right. So I was getting in trouble a lot. So the point is, that household was like Hogwarts. You feel what I'm saying? It wasn't normal.
Word. And were your parents instilling, this knowledge like at an early age, or was it more like self-discovery?
It was both. They can give you the gems. You might put magic in front of one child. If that child move it out the way, you put the world history out, they become a master of that. You understand? So everybody had their own thing. So it's kind of like you had to see who, required what to be able to blossom into whoever they were supposed to be. You know what I'm saying? But my Umi for sure gave me the gems. And we firmly stood on, like they say, the student is ready, the teacher will appear. Similar to that, if they ask the question, if they old enough to ask, they old enough to know the answer. So I had all the questions that show you how and why I was so advanced, because I was asking all the questions, 3, 4, 5 years old. You know what I'm saying? I see my Umi, they're gathering with the sisters and they doing their thing. They might be working on telepathy, psychometry, intuitive powers, clairvoyance, whatever. They did their exercises. I'm not the child that was playing with the toys off to the side. When I saw them coming together, I want to know, what is that? Explain to me what this is. Well, what's this, quartz? Oh, what does it do? What's this oil? Mars oil? Okay, well, and then I started coming to her with it. Yo, you ever thought about using this for this? I never thought about that. So it really depends still to this day on who you are, because I can give anybody watching, I can give all of this, and somebody's going to take this, somebody's going to take that, somebody's just going to hear my voice, and there's going to be a genetic activation that takes place because of that. You get what I'm saying?
For sure. And it sounds like you came up in a very open-minded household where you were able to express your views and ideals and different things like that.
Exactly.
That's so important too, because a lot of times our parents, they put their fear on us. A lot of times we may even be set back a little bit from some of their ignorances, to certain things.
Right.
And so, coming up in a household where it's open-minded, I feel like it's so important. I came up in a household where, my mom handed me a Bible when I was young, and she also handed me a Quran and told me to, be open, about this, and that I didn't have to, limit myself to just one belief system, and gave me that open-mindedness. And I saw, even the difference between, myself and some of my peers where, a lot of people, and especially in the Black community, like a lot of us are more based on in the Christianity faith, which I feel like is really rooted by fear. This is the only system that is right. Anybody else that doesn't follow this is gonna burn in hell. You know what I'm saying? So I think having like that open-mindedness is so just vital. You know what I mean? For us to be able to grow and learn openly.
Exactly.
Now, in saying that, I'm sure that when you're in school and you're speaking like these different ideals and things like that, like, what was the reaction from the teachers? I'm sure it wasn't, open or positive.
Well, yeah, some teachers receive me. They always, listen, this is how it goes. They're going to be disagreeables by default in the earth plane. No matter whoever going through the school, you're going to encounter disagreeables. They're not going to agree with you just being birthed. Then they're going to always, no matter where you go, place an agreeable somewhere. It's going to be at least one. And your job is to find out who that is. So I always found there'll be at least one teacher that can say, okay, we rock with this, y'all leave him alone. And then some teachers will have to explain to me, why, especially the male teachers, why all these people got an issue with me? And she'll say, one of my teachers said this to me, your very presence makes people feel inadequate. The things that you know, the things that you stand on, the things that you question, that it puts them in a position to look in the mirror and realize they haven't, or that they don't stand on. It's the same thing that's happening out here in the music industry. So yeah, a lot of my teachers may have had issues with what they call ideology, because it didn't align with what people were being programmed to accept publicly in the public school system. However, it went hard, and most of them weren't qualified to teach me anyway, because they had this thing called gifted. I was a part of that. The gifted. They literally, some of my teachers had to foul because they weren't qualified. So they had to switch me from this class to that class. And I was given opportunities to skip grades, but I wanted to walk with whoever my peers were at the time. And I literally could have, but I, finished it that way. But they weren't qualified to teach me anyway. I don't think it would have been an issue regardless, because I was malleable. I could I could fit in here if I needed to. But it was a challenge, because what do you do when you don't know what you're going to be able to say with this student around? Because he always asking questions. It wasn't even really the teacher's thing, it's really the students, my peers. Of this guy's, first, he always raises his hand to ask a question. He always raises his hand to answer a question. And then I start realizing that this affects people negatively. They're not motivated by it, they hate it.
Yeah.
You know, oh, he think he's so smart. I was the child that they was saying that about.
Right, and
You know what I'm saying?
and a lot of times when you challenge a grown person, there's usually a negative, impact from that.
Culturally.
Absolutely.
Exactly. So you can imagine, and these people they don't know. I was already told, oh, you're just clocking in. You're still a person. You understand that? You don't have a position, but they always say that you're defiant, you challenge authority, and that's what people are seeing out here. Because at the end of the day, before it ends, you're just a person first. And then your works, what you're doing is another thing. So if you're teaching me, that's what you're here to do at that moment. You still get out of here and you got your own things you're dealing with. So I don't depend on or rely on whatever your lesson plans are. My thing is to pay attention to whatever connection we making at that time. You understand that? So if I feel that is an issue, then I'll keep testing you, because then I'm your lesson at that point. You get what I'm saying? A lot of teachers had to learn that. You thought you knew how to teach children until you encountered an indigo child. You understand? Now you have to rethink that, but that's a good thing, because later on you may realize there were more of me coming. You understand? I was just showing you how to deal with us. You can't deal with us normally, and you can't do it now.
Yeah, no, for real. So being, a highly intelligent kid, a lot of times, that sort of warrants boredom, which then with boredom, you start getting into trouble, like dabbling in other shit. Was that a part of, your youth?
My trouble wasn't boredom. That's a really good question. My trouble wasn't boredom. My trouble was around 5th, 6th grade. I'm like, because I'm soft-hearted. I feel for people. It's the worst condition to be in when you coming through here on this type of mission. I decided ain't nobody bullying me. I tapped into that other side, and I started getting in trouble a lot because of that. Because I'm responding as opposed to I'm letting, get off my shoulder or turn the other cheek. Now I'm showing them that, we can take it there, but I would take it too far. I was the overkill one, you know what I'm saying? So any trouble I got in and out here, it was because of me trying to show people don't mess with me. But it's such a short-sighted resolve, because it always wind up backfiring on me. I'll get in trouble. And I'm trying to explain to these people messing with me.
Right.
But now I'm the one suspended 10 days, especially around McNair when I got to a situation I had to go to court for like 7 months because of it. And it started off with just a fight. Yeah. But the one who caught the most flack was myself, because of how, I, like you say, overdid it.
Yeah.
So, but that's why I say it's a good question, because my boredom didn't yield trouble. It was my fighting back that yielded trouble. Even still, I ain't care, because you ain't calling my mom on me, because she already know. I done already told her what's going on. Hey, I'm going in today, and if these people mess with me, here's what's happening. Yeah. My Umi let me earn my stripes by myself. She didn't force nothing on me. I say she gave me enough rope to get out here. You know what I'm saying? It was enough that if something was going on, I could feel that, I could tug on it, find my way back to the house. Yeah. You get what I'm saying? Find my way back home. So I have to thank her for that. But it wasn't that. Boredom didn't yield trouble. It's the other side of that. Boredom almost took me out of here. You understand? And let me explain to you why it may not make sense. So you familiar with astral projection?
Nah, break that down.
Okay. You ever seen the movie Avatar?
Yes.
Where they hooked the body up with two people, da-da-da-da. You saw when the guy kept spending time out there in his other body?
Yep.
He wasn't looking out for this one?
Yes.
That was my situation around like 14, 15, 16 years old. I started learning how to astral project. My first time was around 12, 13. I caught on quick onto how to bring it about quickly. And I started spending more time out there, and I started to realize that it's actual doors you can walk through that remove you from here. And I know, again, it might not, it's deeper now, but I started to spend more time, literally. Everybody thought I was sleeping all the time. They said, man, he always sleeping. I wasn't sleeping. I was traveling. And I would sit down and talk to my Umi. I'd say, I prefer being out there. This place don't make sense. This place is stupid. I prefer being able to travel and interact with these different beings and go across the galaxies. I prefer, even sometimes I've gone into the lower planes, what you call hell. I've been down there. And I'm not saying that I prefer that over this. I'm saying that I prefer the ability to traverse the planes and activating that and using that than even being here. Like, it's because some of this stuff just doesn't make sense. The more you think about it, even the density here, it doesn't really make sense, because in the astral plane, I'm able to just move through walls at will. Here, you can't do that. It doesn't make sense to me, which means I'm not coming from lower. I'm coming from higher, not from beneath, above. So what I could say is when I was bored, I astral projected. And that almost took me up out of here. There were many times where I literally had to be pulled back to my body through my etheric core. You know what I'm saying? That? So yeah, I done got bored with this shit. I explain to people all the time. Be careful when you start talking about you want to become woke and touch all this stuff, because if you don't know how to bring that stuff to the, you'll lose your mind.
Yeah.
And losing your mind ain't always a negative thing, because maybe lose your mind is you literally check out. You understand? Go watch that movie K-Pax, where your being ain't here no more. And there are people that they put them in an insane house. And there are people that's out in the conscious community, they running that same risk because they taking shrooms, not understanding, they're teetering on the edge of not really understanding what is reality anymore. And what's reality? Reality is where you're centered. You ever been in a dream and something don't make sense?
Yeah.
But it makes sense to you while you're in a dream, right? You see pink elephants. You say, look at these pink elephants, this is normal. And then you wake up and say, what the fuck why was there pink elephants?
Yeah.
Oh, but that was reality to you while you were there.
It's funny that you say that. It's funny that you say that, bro, because I've been, for the first time, I'm practicing Ramadan. And so I was telling my therapist, I said, man, my dreams are more vivid and I'm seeing colors like on a whole new spectrum.
Exactly.
And I felt crazy saying it, but it's like so real, because some of the things that I've been seeing have just, you know, been different and things that I've never seen before. And this is also something that I'm doing for the first time. So, you know, like a lot of experiences have been new and somewhat scary, you know, but when you talk about, say that term again.
Astral projection.
Astral projection. Is that kind of similar to like the mindset that Houdini was using, like when he would, you know, I think like he did something where he like challenged people to, he said, put me in like the highest security jail, and I guarantee you that
I can escape.
Yeah, that I can escape. And they put him in there, and he actually did escape. You know.
Well, you saying is his ability to escape similar?
Well, it just seems like his like thought process was sort of in the same vein, on the tip of where he's like, you could put me in a place,
but I can't be contained.
But I can't be contained.
Yeah, let me tell you, these are great questions, because I haven't never heard anybody put it that way. It is that way, because even it's in the words. Astral projection. Then you have the other side of out-of-body experiences, OBEs, right?
Yeah.
Then you got dreaming. You have lucid dreaming. So many different degrees of it. But not every OBE is an astral projection. You understand? So not some people can get into a car crash and they have what they describe as an out-of-body experience, but they didn't project themselves out, right there in that project word. So the ability to project yourself forward is defying containment. So that's a really good question. It is that. It's just because I have a song called Dungeon Cry. Right? And I'm asking, I say, you ever heard the dungeon cry? Tears of love and stone want to disown this prisoner inside. Right? And my dad joined me on the song. My dad named Bodie. He joined me on the song, and a lot of people in the communities know him as Bodie. But he joined me, and he was saying, your body is that prison. Your body is that dungeon. So when you project outward, it is escaping. Okay? And then everybody who astral projects, they'll hear me and they'll understand what I'm about to say. There's a time limit out there. You start feeling it in your heart. It's like a pulsating effect where you know you have to return back to your body, but then there are those minor occurrences where you have the opportunity to just keep going. You understand? So yeah, I wouldn't have thought of it like that. I'm glad you brought that up, that it is the art of escape.
Yes.
You understand? And I feel like everybody eventually will need to, if they're speaking about ascension, come in and protect with that astral body. The Christians say that. They call it the light body or the Christ body.
Yep.
Okay, they say no flesh can inherit the kingdom. Right. You know what I mean? They got people saying they don't know whether they was in the spirit or in the flesh when they met with this person. That's astral projection. It's all in there where there's another body that you have. Okay, they talk about being raised incorruptible as opposed to corruptible, meaning you can't die. Dying is like you suffered the temptations of the flesh and you didn't rise above it. The people that spoke nirvana, or the Buddhists, they say that, we got to go past this body. You know what I mean? So everybody kind of figures it out, that there's another being inside of this being having a different experience. Everybody kind of gets that.
All right, so at what point would you say you jumped off the porch?
Like literally got out there about 12 years old.
Okay.
About 12 years old. But it was still, let me tell you something. Right knowledge saved my soul. Nuwaubian, that saved my soul, because I might get on everybody, but I'll be reminding myself, I could have went them same routes. You know what I'm saying? I got a song called Letter to Young Boy. I say NBA Young Boy, I could have became him. You know, so I said, could have been worse than a gang member. Ask gang them. And that is to say that there were people around at that time that were able to see what I could have become. But every time I breached that arena, right knowledge brought me back to the center. So jumping out the porch for me was literally going outside and exploring. That's when I first started really going out and seeing so much. But I did, every situation I did the same thing. I made that decision not to go that route. No matter what, however close I got up on whatever the evil was, I got close enough to know what it is. That's why I'm able to talk from that vantage point, but not too close to the point where it consumed me.
Right.
You get what I'm saying? So I don't, at 12 years old.
Right. And, you know, having your pops in your life, how would you say that impacted, you know, the way that you moved and, you know, some of your decision making? Because again, you know, a lot of us from this community don't have, you know, father figures in our lives. And a lot of times our first encounter with a man with authority is usually from the police or something like that. So how would you say that having your pops in your life?
I didn't have my pops in my life. Okay, so we have a different type of community.
Gotcha.
Okay, I had a stepfather in my life.
Okay.
But my dad, who everybody knew was Bodie, he wasn't in my life physically. And here's my thing, I didn't need him to be. You see what I'm saying? Because I get on the phone with my dad, I talk to him, maybe an hour, 2 hours, 3 hours, depending. And he give me something that I'm able to take for years. I won't hear from him. So I could literally count to you on both hands how many times I done seen my dad, right? And then probably around the same amount of times we'd have been on the phone. He wasn't physically present. He was like the, what do you call it, the Poseidon story, where you got the voice there that comes every now and then. But that's how I think it needed to be that way. And yeah, so I didn't have that father figure. Now I had my stepfather. You know, I think here's what people need to really pay attention to. Even though we may not have all had our father there, everybody had dad or aunt in the community.
Yep.
Everybody had somebody. I know everybody has somebody say, yo, you need to start doing this, or do this another way, or that ain't right, put that down, or get out the street. If it was just get out the street, somebody told us. So literally that was a message, which is why we never heard that. They said stay out the street. We didn't listen. I don't understand that. Okay, I just broke something else, broke a code there. But the point is, everybody had a voice.
Yeah.
Somebody said something. So my stepfather, I call him Uber. It means dad or father. All right? He the one taught me to cut pancakes. He the one taught me to throw a spiral on the football. You know what I'm saying? But that will be my Uber. I tell him to this day, I see you as my Uber. You my dad too. Yeah. And anybody else, I got people have been my dad in different ways. For sure. You feel what I'm saying? So I didn't have my dad biologically in my life at all. The most prominent father figure I had is Dr. Malachi Z. York. And I learned a lot through his tones of speaking and his mannerisms and paying attention to how it, you know what I'm saying, affected our community and uplifted everybody to what we see now. That's my main father figure. You know what I mean? On another plane, we might not even be related that way. We might be brothers another way. But that is the main one. And I have my biological, and then I have my stepfather.
Absolutely.
And don't forget my mother. That's another father figure. You know?
Oh yeah, come on.
If we being for real.
Yeah, for sure. So you first gained public attention or went viral online at the age of 16. There was a video of you basically teaching your high school class like about ancestry, time, universal truths, and and hidden knowledge. How did that even come about? Was that something where like you were raising your hand to say something or talking in class and the teacher was like, well, why don't you teach the class? And then you got up and then really start kicking that knowledge, or what?
I saw them type of comments too. But yeah, they're like, this is what happened when they say you want to come up here and teach. I was really like that in high school though. So really I wasn't 16 when it happened. Like I wasn't 16 when it went viral. I might have been about 19 because it took place like 3-4 years. It just went viral out of nowhere.
Gotcha.
The guy who recorded, the guy was named Yash, right? We called him Yash, Joshua. He was one of the members. We had an organization called Pharaoh Clan, right? And everything that I was learning, because I became a Mason at 16 years old. Everybody talking about Freemason, I became a Mason at 16 years old. Everything I was learning in the lodge, I brought it to the brothers in my high school. You notice I said 16, right? Yep. Most people ain't heard of that. The youngest people hear about is like 21, somewhere around 18. Right. It depends, but the most universally accepted age requirement is 21. So for me to be telling you that, and me knowing that, if I wanted to make some, make it up, I would have said, oh yeah, I was 21. No, I was 16. And there were two brothers in the community. We called them the twins, the genies. They came and said, yo, we want to talk to you about the square, right? Because they saw the work that I was already doing in the community. So I took this same, as soon as I started walking in, as soon as I went through, got my nickname, all of that, and brought it back, I said, here go the jewels, here go the tools y'all can use. And I started to teach it in the Pharaoh Clan organization. So the sisters in the class were like, what y'all be learning? Because we be staying after school. They had a building on Carver campus called Archive Building. I told all the brothers, I said, this is a Masonic building. We went out there, flipped all the bricks over. I said, see these Masonic emblems? I said, this is why it's called an Archive Building. I explained all of that. And the sisters were like, what y'all be learning? I said, what kind of questions y'all always had? You know, most people questions, what happened when we die? You know what I'm saying? What's up with God? So that's how we got there. And that was why it's only like a 6-minute video, but it was a long, because we had a substitute that day to answer. There was a substitute. So, but I did that anyway, because there was people that be there teaching. They know I'm already going to teach. And they'll let me, because most of the time my work was done. You know what I'm saying? It's just what it was. But I just was answering what the sisters was asking about and breaking that down. And the sisters eventually started coming to the meetings and doing the hand size, all that stuff.
Yeah, because one of the sisters, or a few of them, were actually engaging in the video and was, you know, talking about some of the knowledge that she had gotten from some things she watched and was, you know.
So that was happening from 6 minutes, right? What you think was going on in my whole high school career? And I literally, a lot of what y'all are seeing from when the brothers was wearing the little bitty diamond unks, that was me. You know what I'm saying? They come and ask, what's that? Then the next thing you know, they not wearing the crosses no more, they got the unks. Yeah. A lot of the YSL people, they went to school with me. A lot of 4PL people, they went to school with me. Yeah. So I put a lot of knowledge and information in a lot of people's hands in a very short amount of time. And everybody on all 4 schools on the campus knew who I was, because that's what I did all the time. Teaching, walking, teaching, it is literally like that. So they were able to ask those questions there and get those answers, but people were doing that since 9th grade to 12th grade, and they still doing it.
Yeah. And then in that video, you also, you were speaking about like the different religious books, like the Bible, was breaking down the meaning of that, as well as the Quran, and was, you know, making sure that folks knew that these were books that were written, you know, by these philosophers. Then with a lot of confidence, you said, give me 16 years and I'll be able to write a Bible and lead millions of people.
Yep, if I wanted to.
How are you so confident in saying that and delivering that?
Because it only seems hard. Okay, so calculus seems hard to one who's not a calculus major. You feel what I'm saying? Trigonometry the same. Same thing with freestyling. Freestyling may seem hard to somebody who don't rap. Yeah. Video editing and video production may seem hard to somebody who don't. They say, how you doing that? But they don't understand it's 10,000 hours. I'm sure he got 10,000 hours. You understand? Absolutely. Like, you got 10,000 on it? You gotta have about 10,000. He said, okay, more than that now. You see what I'm saying? So that's why they call him that. You didn't know that? I talked to him before we got here. So why you call? I'm just playing. But everybody has to have their 10,000 hours to be able to understand a certain thing. So I got way more than 10,000 hours on building, right? Masonry, information, the Illuminati science, all this other stuff that comes into forming a Bible like that. All of the Rosicrucian order science you'll find in the Bible. The Masonic you'll find in the Bible. The religious, everything, all religions, you'll find it in the Bible. You understand that? It's basic information before leaving Earth. This is just a Nasut plane. It's not even all the other levels. So it's not that hard to graduate. You understand that? But notice I said, if I wanted to lead people astray, I could. The reason why at this point, I wouldn't be moving or writing a Bible is because the further I grow into this, it's like, I'm not attempting to bring anybody to my writings to stay here. I'm attempting to put that pen in your hand and say, well, your Bible. You understand? You find the Bible, you see genealogy in the Bible, right? You ask an average person, do they understand their genealogy? They don't. You with me? I don't want to know about Mark and the rest of them and their genealogy and their canonicals and their gospels. I want to know about yours. And tell me about your family, your bloodline, your heritage. And you start saying that to people, they say it's blasphemy. It shouldn't be, because if we can find ourselves all the way back to Joseph and Adam and Seth and the rest of them people, okay, well then we missing some links in between, because people ain't able to go back far enough to even see whether or not they can say this person Jacob existed, so I'm a part of the tribe of Israel. You understand what I'm explaining to you?
Yeah,
so me telling people to do their genealogy would actually give them an opportunity to find out whether or not their religion is true or rooted in foundation of truth. Meaning the stories of the chosen and the elect and the true Jews, all that. Okay, if that's true, then you should be able to trace yourself back there. And all they have is prophecies now. So it's like, how can you really do that? And then you have some stories where extraterrestrial beings would come in and produce things for you. Like, if we can have Prophet Muhammad receive a revelation, why ain't nobody doing it now? We had Dr. Malachi doing it, but everybody called him crazy. So my point is, instead of me writing a Bible now and saying, everybody come follow this, I was saying if I wanted to be devious, I could. That's what happens when you touch information. Nobody want to tell nobody that. You know what I'm saying? People say, oh, Masons are satanic. No, Masons are Masons. If I take this brick as a Mason and slap somebody upside the face, that might have been an evil deed. But I take a brick and I build a house with it, you know what I'm saying? That might be perceived as a good deed. And still, that has depended on what was the person doing that got slapped with him. What kind of house did I build? You with me? So information is just that all spark. You're going to have Decepticons touch it, and you're going to have Autobots touch it. The question is, which one are you? So my point is, my answer directly is, it's not hard to do something like that when you've already graduated those schools. All you got to understand is, listen, if you can remember just something as simple as the dot, you can think of something as small as you can. Just condense it down to the smallest, most discrete unit of whatever the matter would be. And even beyond matter, go subatomic, it's going to be a dot. Whatever it will be in its most condensed form will be a dot. If you can master that, it'll help you with this whole pronecting the dot situation where everybody's trying to figure all this stuff out. What's the dot of religion in all these religious books? Extraterrestrials. You say that, people think you're crazy. Well, okay, is Jesus from Earth? No. Is, okay, what was the chariot of fire? Explain what that technology is. You understand? Did God start on Earth? No. Okay, what is the definition of extraterrestrial? You see what I'm saying? Every story, what is the Buddhist, whoever, everybody says it's something going on out there.
Right.
You with me? So why they won't sit down? Because they want to live a certain way. They want to go to church. What going to church have to do with leaving the earth? They say they come here to destroy this place. What does that have to do with you? Okay, no disrespect to the Ramadan. Okay, people observe that. Why are you observing it? The purpose of fasting is to be able to hear.
Yep.
And if you can't hear Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala speaking to you, then who are you listening for? The Malachi can speak to you. Okay, but I hope you ain't doing Ramadan. I'm talking about for the people who are doing it, just for people to congratulate you, say you did a good thing. Right. Or you got people that can meet on these mountains and have whole gatherings with extraterrestrial people and come back with laws. You understand? So my point is, the religion is one thing, the science is another. If we're dealing with an extraterrestrial doctrine, we're going to have to figure out what that means eventually. Or all we did was generation after generation after generation, we wasted time. Right. Because then who's going to be ready?
And the thought of extraterrestrials, like, to people, you know, they get to thinking about green aliens with big heads and these weird looking bodies and all of that. And so it's, you know, what's been programmed, you know, to us to believe, which is why it seems so unrealistic when you really speak, you know, to that.
Yeah, I mean, they didn't read their books. The extraterrestrials that were being described had melanin dominant skin, feet with refined brass. You know what I'm saying? Woolly hair. Yeah. Or at least hair white like lambs would. Daniel 7:9. Go read Daniel 7:9 if they want to contest it. You understand? Because Revelation 1:14 and Daniel 7:9 speaks about somebody having a complexion similar to yours if you're a melanin dominant person. Yeah. And that's not to say that those are the only ones. You might have extraterrestrials who are Caucasoids, or extraterrestrials who are Mongoloid, extraterrestrial Negroids. Or maybe you'll find some with green pigment. It depends on whatever the atmosphere on their planet is like. Right. You understand? That's why I asked you about the Avatar movie. Yeah. Because they showed you blue skinned people. We had that in ancient Egyptian stories about Amun and the rest of these people, and Asaru. These people had different color skin, blue and green, of the names I just gave you. You know what I'm saying? So is it really that weird? Because you ask them about angels flying around with feathers, it makes sense. Right? And then you say, okay, there's a possibility that
and what race are those angels?
What race?
White.
Well, exactly. If you and they paint it that way. Right. But then the moment you try to paint an image that's melanin dominant, it's a problem, correct? Yep. Then they'll hit you with this, say, oh, it doesn't have anything to do with race. Yes, it does. It has everything to do with race, because Michelangelo, go figure, painted all the images as Caucasoids. These people come in. So my point is, if we're going to say that race doesn't matter, okay, race doesn't matter as far as don't be prejudiced to people. Okay, race shouldn't be a reason for you to treat a person a negative way. Okay, I had to change it from a certain way, because you do have to deal with certain people a different way, depending on certain things culturally. But if there are melanin dominant extraterrestrial people here in our midst, we need to know that. But the government ain't gonna tell us that. You understand? So my point is, if these people all have this religion talking about what's going on in heaven, the cosmos, outside of here, then if you're the chosen ones, who in communication with them now? Don't tell me the pastor. The pastor had a great idea. He told you that. He told you it was God. No, that's just a great idea. Have pastor talk to these people how Moses and them did. Right. And if not, then you should test every spirit. Don't believe everybody who come and say that they're of the Spirit of God. Test every spirit to see, because not everybody who say that is of me. Yeah. What are they trying to tell you? Oh, you really from outer space? Oh, you really from the cosmos? Oh, you really a prophet? What's your name? Who can I check with to clarify that? Show me something. Where's your badge? We all come with something, is what they're trying to tell you. Go ahead, I'm listening.
Right. No, for sure. One of the most interesting things that I've experienced in my life was going to Egypt and going to some of the tombs and seeing the hieroglyphics where they were, painted brown skin, just like you and myself. And I remember meeting people and they were telling me, welcome home, and I met like some of the Nubians, some of the original Egyptians.
That they don't show on the History Channel.
Right. But they look just like us, hair just like ours and everything. But then like you go somewhere like to Alexandria, and then you see all of this, like art looking like it's from like Greece or Italy or something like that. You know what I mean? But it was just, but that was one of the dopest experiences for me, because if people follow the Bible and hear about how they marry and they took baby Jesus to Egypt and went there like to kind of hide out, to stay protected and all of that, and like have the understanding of like how deep Egypt really is to all religions and to our cultures. It just being there made me appreciate it, and I could really like feel like that energy when I was there.
Exactly. That the closest you would have felt is Tom Array, what Dr. Malachi York built before they destroyed it in 2005. That would have been the closest to Egypt. He was explaining it. He couldn't take everybody to Egypt. He said, I wanted to take y'all to Egypt, but at that time they were doing a lot of killings and stuff, and they didn't want people over there finding out what you found out.
Right.
He said, I couldn't take you to Egypt, so I brought Egypt to you. And literally did that, and not just talk in somebody else's building. You understand? I mean, at this Philip State Arena sold out show. No, we on his land.
Yeah.
You understand? Explaining to people why it had to be built, because the mission needed to be complete. Whatever you felt, the children needed to feel that. If you're feeling this, when you go out there and you feeling that sense of home as an adult with all of your experiences, what you think the child feels? And I'm here to bear witness and say, I was there and I experienced it, and heaven did come to earth, and they missed it. And everybody waiting, don't understand it in the hereafter. It already happened. Yeah. You talking to somebody who was a child when it was there, and I was able to walk around on his land, which was our land. I was able to interact with the other living beings, like the fish in the ponds, and see the mummies and spewing out in the deity role. And then I noticed that all the people, you have monks coming to the land. You have people in the feathers, the Native Americans coming, American Indians coming to the land. You know what I'm saying? All the NOI, everybody was there. And they want to act like it didn't happen. So that's what they call the forgotten city. It's not the forgotten city because y'all don't want to tell them. We got people might go on a Breakfast Club and talk about how we got to build another black. Well, we did that, and y'all keep acting like it didn't happen. How long you gonna do that? That's the problem, because they looking at me like I'm this anomaly out here, which maybe I am. Speaking the truth of what we just had that 22 years ago, less than that. You understand what I'm explaining to you? So what are we gonna do about it? We got all these people out here in the conscious community. We got all these people, these leaders, everything, black leaders, all of that. And the most they can do is talk to us. And you're talking about somebody who did this before the internet. He built it here in Georgia, Edison, Georgia. And the most they can do is just talk to us and tell us how we gotta. And it's all of them. But he's one man. He made all of this happen as one man. They down him. Yeah. But all of them together where the children can go right now. They press the button, it's a sirens. Where can the children go right now? Will they be on their soil, with their language, right? As a Nuwaubian language, their culture, their customs, and everybody's welcome. Their food, their police, their fire department. We had all of that. Where can we go right? We have 476 acres of land. Okay? The governments, they saw it, they wanted to take it, they've been trying. It had to happen from inside. You understand that? My point is, if the children need somewhere to go right now, where can we go? Ask any of them. And don't tell me they can go down the street to somebody's apartment complex and live in there with them. I'm talking about where's our land that we move in, no matter where you coming from. As a people, everybody can be there, and it's open for everybody to be there. Don't let nobody tell you nothing crazy. There were Caucasian people who were Nuwaubians. So never let nobody push that. They had white folks who wanted it. They were so interested, they became a part of it.
Wow.
You see what I'm saying? Because it was that, and it's evident, it is that powerful.
What are your thoughts? What are your thoughts when people try to paint the Nuwaubian culture as like being racist, as being, like they label it as black supremacists, and when we look at white supremacy, we look at that as, being, something that's against, black folks and black culture. What are your thoughts when they try to paint that picture?
Black supremacy? Well, they wrong. First of all, they're using the wrong terminology. Automatically, we wouldn't even entertain that. Those who align with Nuwaubian, we're not a religion. You understand that? We're not a cult. We're not none of this stuff. We have a school. Okay, you can call yourself a mathematician, right? You went to school for math. You can call yourself a sociologist. You know what I'm saying? A physiologist. You can call yourself whatever you want to call yourself, a scientist, because you went to school for that. All right? That's what we did. We went through schools. So one of the schools was terminology. Why would you call it a black supremacist? What's a black supremacist? That has to be a fool. Because how can you be supreme and you're black?
Right.
If black, you understand? You see where I could go with
No,
this, right?
absolutely. But and I asked that because, when you Google it, like that's what they label it as. And when I was reading that,
Google
I'm like,
doesn't know what it is. Listen, you can Google any other movement on the planet. Google doesn't know what Nuwaubian is. You notice that. I'm challenging anybody to go look it up. Nuwaupu. They don't know what it is. They have to ask us. They say, isn't Nuwaubian, weren't y'all Muslims? We went through the Islam school. Is that what you mean? Weren't y'all Christians? We went through that school. Weren't y'all Hebrew Israel? We went through that school too. And we got books, 360 questions to ask a Sunni Orthodox Muslim, 360 questions to ask a Hebrew Israelite, what do you want to do? We went through all these schools. We also were Moors, United Nuwaubian Nation of Moors. We did all of that.
The Nation of the Gods and Earths, that's a part of it?
Yeah, the 5%ers, shout out to 5%. Prophet Allah, Clarence 13, okay, what do you want to do? Circumscribe the Quran, what do you want to do? You want to walk through the supreme mathematics? What do you want to do is all we're asking. If you want to know what we are, I've just told you. I wasn't supposed to tell you. We are, what do you want to do? That's who we are. And they don't know what to do with that, even when we ask them. So first, for starters, Google doesn't know what they're talking about. And not only does Google not know, who has been able to say what Nuwaubian is? Of any of these people, Umar Junction, 19 Keys, any of these people who try to speak on any of these stuff, Rashad Jamal, wherever, any of these people that's out there in a spiritual community, can they speak? Any other, has Farrakhan been able to, can anybody say truly what Nuwaubian is other than us? And the answer is no. So then why don't y'all just ask us what it is? I'm not saying you didn't ask, I'm saying why don't they just ask us instead of going out telling people what our thing is, and our thing is for everybody. So if I could say we all were on Tamaray, what religion is that? Oh, y'all were a cult, what do we believe in? So the answer would be no, not black supremacists, because that doesn't even make sense.
Right, doesn't even exist.
Thing, okay, black means dead, okay? Civilita mortus, it is not living. As a Mason, we had to learn that. You have darkness and light. Go look at the story of Lazarus. When Lazarus was asleep, he was in the black tile. Yeah. He was dead. Somebody had to grip him and pull him out of there into the white or the light or the living. Let there be light. Okay, Genesis chapter 2, verse 7. Are we going there? Somebody pass the plate around.
Come on now.
Genesis chapter 2, verse 7. He formed man out of the dust, soil, dead, Adamah, of the ground. Breathed into him, all right, through his nostrils, the breath of Ki, life, right? Or Ka, the spirit. And then he became a Eve, a living soul. Meaning, was Adam living before that moment of breathing into him, that spirit of life? No. He went from darkness into Eve. Okay, you see how they flipped it on us? We got the Adam thinking everybody got that, thinking that's white, thinking that the Eve is the darkness. But then you flip it, you start realizing this is the science of masonry. The living is the one who figure out what the darkness is, and then you got light now. Dark is, if I didn't know your name, I'm in the dark about that. You understand that? So until you tell me what your name is, I was okay, Spitty Will, all right, boom. So I'm in the light about that now. You get what I'm explaining to you? Yeah. So what is a black supremacist? How can I be supreme and I don't know nothing? To say that I'm black says I have no identity. I am lost, like a barcode got stripped off of me. I'm a lost product. I have nowhere to tie myself back to. What is a black? You understand that? Yeah. So even if they want to argue, whatever they want to argue, in the law of how we setting up these words and these codes and these colors, it doesn't apply. So I can't be, that's why I told people, stop saying that the FBI was worried about a black messiah. They never said that. You didn't read it. Read the counterintelligence program, you'll see that they said they were concerned about the rise of a messiah. They didn't say a black messiah. They wanted to prevent the rise of a messiah who would be capable of electrifying and unifying a black nationalist movement. What does that mean? That means nationalizing people who are black. If you nationalize somebody who's black, Lazarus, come forth. You pulled him out of the darkness. So you can't be a black Messiah because in order for you to be a Messiah designated to that righteous cause of waking people up, you got to be awake yourself. How you going to be sleep waking people up?
Right.
So no, black supremacy doesn't even make sense is what we would respond to them. You have to come better. No, we're not saying that melanin dominant people are better than Caucasoids. Is that what you're trying to say? No, we don't hate Caucasoids. Is that what you're trying to say? We understand certain histories about them and we love them and we work with them. And at this part again, there were people who were white or Caucasian a part of the movement.
And that's interesting. When you said that
yeah, they don't want to see. They gotta ask us. Same way everybody trying to make this allegations on it. You don't want to talk to the children. That's so crazy. I was the children.
Yeah.
We were there. When we get to Tama Ray, which was the name of the land, Tama Ray, Egypt of the West, Edenton, Georgia. When we got to the land, we was able to run free. That's the one place on the planet Earth that no parent said, hold my hand. And you can't do that at the corner store.
Yeah. And it's crazy because, you know, I know Malachi York like moved like the operation from New York, like from Brooklyn here to Georgia. And that's something that's not even spoken about. You know what I mean? That's something that like, unless you are really doing the knowledge, like you have no idea that something like that ever existed here.
Exactly, how? And I got people out here talking about some I shook and don't know where the word came from. How? And we got people talking about some overstanding, understanding, where it come from. Where overstand come from. You understand that? They don't want to say. Where basic instruction before leaving Earth. Where to wake up everybody, that song?
Yeah.
Dr. Malachi York. You want to know how deep this is? You should know this if you don't. India Ari was one of us. She is, once a Nuwaubian, always a Nuwaubian.
Yeah.
India Ari, Erykah Badu, Andre 3000, 21 Savage. We go for MF Doom, African Bambaataa, the whole Zulu nation. We can go further and further and further and further. Music Soul Child. Yeah. And you'll understand how deep in the music industry we were, in art, where everybody at. That's one of the things you just asked recently, where everybody at. So it shouldn't be on FaZe to come out here and say all of this when we got all of this influence coming from one man. He speaks 19 languages, over 1,000 books authored, owned 476 acres of land and built pyramids, revitalized the golden age. You understand that? But they never wanted him on TV. They didn't want him on this.
Right.
Sound familiar? You got all these people, and Spitty hit me. You see what I'm explaining to you? Yeah. But we got people, Black Magic 363, all these other people, not to name other people on your platform. I'm saying you got all these different people who do what they're doing. Yep. And they're supposed to be woke and conscious, and they see what FaZe is. If the world can see, they can see. Yeah. But what are they afraid of? They don't hate me, they hate the man I represent.
Yeah, nah, for sure. And yeah, I mean, people aren't bold enough to have these conversations.
Because he held people accountable, Spitty.
Yeah.
He helped people.
Accountability, man. So, people allergic to that word.
Let's say you touched the Quran, right?
Yeah.
He spoke Arabic fluently and translated Al-Quran and Al-Torah in its full language, word for word.
Yeah.
Then the Sunnis tried him. They would try, but they couldn't do it. And he was telling them how they got some of it. Yusuf Ali, you got to go back and research that. What is that? Put them on the spot. They had to come back around later to say he was right. Yeah. So you're not talking about somebody who just saying Salaam Alaikum. You got somebody who's saying, excuse me, Assalamu Alaikum. And then going further with it and saying, you need to learn your language, how you read the Quran, if you don't know Arabic. Imagine how many people you know who are Muslims, but they cannot speak Arabic. Yeah, sure. They don't speak fluent Arabic. Which dialect? Do you speak any of it? You know the difference between Ma Salama and Salamu Alaikum or Assalamu. Do you know the difference? You know when they're trying to be funny. You know when they're mimicking you, you know what I'm saying? Right. And clowning you for not knowing the language. So think of Atlanta right now. We got a lot of Muslims, right? Yeah. You think they speak Arabic? So if you got somebody out here, let's say I did. Let's say I spoke fluent Arabic and I was teaching in the mosque, my mosque, on my block, right? You think everybody will be coming to the one who was able to really delineate and, you know what I'm saying, deliberate on this, and you think they would be coming to me or they would be coming to the person who can only stop at Assalamu Alaikum, if they say that right?
I mean, I feel like ignorance is bliss, so they'll probably be going to the other one.
Well, also you gotta look at marketing. Marketing, we all in white. Everybody in white, the whole block full. We not only just on our block, we come into your block. And we go right, let's say Spitty is the main one, because you make a good point. Ignorance could be bliss, you make a good point. Spitty is the #1 man on you're the imam. So all my brothers come with me, my Aki, they come with me. and we step right to you. I do, as I'm Dr. York. I go straight to Spitty. Assalamu alaikum. You know what I'm saying? Assalamu alaikum. And we having our conversation in Arabic, but you can't talk back. And I say, you don't know Arabic? And you have to drop your head in front of your whole congregation. You see the difference? And then it's like, these people want to save their soul. So who they come, this is how it happened, is what I'm telling you. So then eventually you holding everybody accountable. We're not saying you're not what you say you are. We're saying if you are, show it. Show and prove.
Yeah, show and prove. Yes, sir.
So then the best thing to do for those people who fake and those kafirun, or those kafirs, is to act like he don't exist, and they still do that. And that's what's happening out here with me.
Yeah.
They act like I don't exist, not because I'm not bullying. I'm just saying, oh, you got that for real? Stand up, let me see. Why he won't stand up, y'all? As you know, they block me.
Yeah.
Just stand up, because you leading people this way, and we just want to say, listen, I would rather there be more people doing this. So if I step to you, it's because I'm really trying to see if you're about it for real.
Yeah.
Yo, you say you're spiritual, you say you this, you say that. Okay, why you still calling women bitches in your music? And then they get quiet like that. Well, they call themselves, okay, well then you're beneath them, huh? They dictate how you respond. Well, I didn't mean it like that. You did mean it like that. You said because they're calling themselves bitches, that means you do it, right? Well, then you got some women who are bitches. You're not ready for this. Because you go around women and you leave and they still calling themselves that, you're not who you say you are. Because you should have the atmosphere coming with you that's strong enough that by the time you leave, they don't even want to stay where they at.
Yeah.
They're coming with you. That's another thing. Any spiritual people, you shouldn't be calling anybody women. If it's a woman, she's not a bitch. Because you know the power of the tongue.
Right.
And there's nothing she could do ever. Because most people, it always end up in, I know I'm probably.
No, you good.
It always has something to do with her sexuality and what she does with her body. The reason why she's a bitch or not.
Yeah.
That's the determining factor. It's her body. You understand? So let's say that they're still using those tones or whatever. You don't call them that. You uplift them or don't call them nothing. If you can't speak, and I'm not talking about the fake, all that Grand Rising Queen stuff, that's fake. I'm talking about you don't got to call them anything but by their name and uplift them in tone. You with me? Ain't no reason for me to go around, oh, she a bitch. Why? Because she hurt your feelings? You weak. Oh, she a bitch. Why? Because she sell her body? What that got to do with you? Can you change it? No. Do this. That's why all the sisters talking about they don't want to date niggas with money. Excuse me. They don't want to date. Matter of fact, yeah. Let's make it easy for us, right? Not just play. I'm not saying y'all, for me. But my point is, the sisters saying they don't want to date niggas who don't got money.
Yeah.
That's good. That's good because it's making him get off his ass. You understand that?
Yeah.
If we saying they the goddesses and all that, then let them move like that. Because we walk around saying the black man is God, and she whispering off to the, I can't tell. Where are our resources? Where can we push a button and make things move? Okay, so when they saying money, they just talking about what's resources right now. Go ahead, I'm listening.
Nah, so you've been, just like what you're talking about now, I mean, you've been challenging, some of the hardest artists in the game, with your music and some of your songs. I mean, one of the songs that, really put me up on your movement and everything was The Letter to Lil Baby that you released like right around when he released his album.
Yep.
And you were basically challenging, him with his influence that, that he has on people, children, the community,
right,
and asking why he's delivering the messages that he's delivering.
Right.
Have you received have any artists that you've done these songs directed to, like, has anyone, hit you up with like any kind of negative, feedback or? Yeah,
but they don't do it directly. Kodak Black, I did a letter to Kodak Black.
Yeah.
He responded positively.
Yeah, I saw you guys do the IG Live.
Yeah, we got a lot. He literally said on live, he was like, yo, FaZe One, I got love for you. He said, you the reason I'm sober right now. He said, not for long. I have to say that because if not, I'll misrepresent what he's saying.
For sure.
He put the joke on there, but he did say, you the reason, a part of the reason is what he said. You part of the reason I'm sober right now. He gave me a shout out. He was telling people to listen to what I'm saying. Some people respond positively. Lil Baby and them, they didn't respond directly. They'll say stuff like, he put my name in a song, what the fuck is he on? I don't care, but we gotta go get him. That's how they respond.
Yeah.
Or he trying to diss me to blow up, I peep it. I can't respond, I just go at your people. That's how they respond. They don't never say, yo, let me hit this, it's Anti Da Menace. I just told him, I was in his comments saying, I guess you ain't caught the memo. We ain't doing no more drill music. He hit me up immediately, was like, yo, hit my line. He had OGs around him. We get on the phone, straight, clean conversation. By the end of the conversation, it's all love. Ain't nobody checking in with me. So I literally, on the song, I said, everybody come and say, yo, why you coming at wham like that? I said, yo, simmer down. I'm using words to help them understand. If you don't know about Bob Marley, yo, just simmer down. There's a reason for my music. It's not what it seems. I don't have an issue with Dominique personally. I don't even know him personally. I know the people around him, Nuwaubian and the rest of them. I don't know him personally. I'm challenging the one who can do more.
Right.
That's it. And if I have to use shock value to get it, that's all I'm doing. But all it takes is a phone call. If you really wanted them, I do it all the time. People challenge me, I say, come on live with me. If you a real one. But some people, I guess, respect to what people got going on, some people come from a different cloth where it's less talking with them. I understand that. That's why I said in the song, I understand, I know the motion, I know what's going on, but I can't stop speaking. So they'll respond negatively, but not, the last thing they want to do is say my name. You understand? They'll respond to everybody else. But if they say, bring people to me, and then people see exactly that you can't speak Arabic. You get what I'm explaining to you? Like it's an analogy of, are you really that? Because we saw bigger picture, and we love and appreciated bigger picture. We respected bigger picture. But then we didn't understand why the statement was, I'm not doing no more politics. That's not politics. Well, real life ain't politics. Right. We said, yo, if you can make a song like Bigger Picture, you know what's going on. You understand? I was out there with everybody 2020, fist in the air, bumping his shit.
For sure.
So it wasn't no hate. It was like, what you mean? And then I wasn't the only one. They trying to act like it was me. It was women and everything making videos. Remember the girl who couldn't get the can open? I don't remember if y'all know. But like, there was a girl who was saying, why everybody disappeared? Y'all made a song and dipped.
Yeah.
This is the people.
Right.
So of course I'll be on the cross. I'm saying what the people saying. Like, what's up? Like, and then we see y'all trying to switch it up and we salute that. You know what I mean? If you want answers, you can ask me what's going on. If you want to see why I'm coming, like just talk to me and you'll see. But I don't expect them to do that. But even if they never do, the reason for me doing the letter is to reach more people. People see Lil Baby, they gonna come. And then they listen, they hear it, and they'll realize what it's about. So no, I don't have no issue. I don't have nothing personal against any of these people. It's just that when the people saying enough is enough, that's enough. And if I have to put niggas on that stage or on that chopping block just for it to be shifted, which it did, I'll do that.
What are your thoughts when people like are in the comments or even like these artists, like you said, when they respond and are saying that you're doing what you're doing is clout chasing?
Okay, is this thing going? Which one is on? This one?
Yep.
All right. I am the biggest clout chaser. I am the hugest clout chaser ever. And if you don't believe me, go look up FaIseone 2 underscores on Instagram and hit follow. And then just keep watching, right? I'm the biggest clout chaser. You wanna know who else is the biggest clout chaser? God. You wanna know who else is a big clout chaser? The devil. Clout is attention. You wanna know what clout chasing is? Clout chasing is, I'm gonna make a drill song, it's bullshit, I know it's bullshit, but because I just want people to tap into my shit because it's hot at that time, I'm just gonna make it anyway.
Yeah.
And then you just gonna tune in, and it's the easiest way to me to get some quick money. I'm gonna diss one of my ops, everybody gonna tune in, but they not clout chasing. They making real music. I come out and say, let's change this, let's flip this around, let's get it better, right? Everybody realize the type of power they have in these positions. I'm the clout chaser. Okay, well then I accept. I accept, I'm the clout chaser. You wanna know what else clout is? Clout is fish. You understand? And these people out here are fish. And sometimes you gotta throw down your fishing rod. Somebody pass plate around. Throw down your fishing rod and become fishers of men. I'm the biggest clout chaser and you ain't seen nothing yet. They don't want it to work. They know everybody's chasing clout. They don't want the right knowledge to work. They don't want the right clout to find its way to the center.
Nah, for sure.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah. Because if you change your mentality, then you can change your reality.
For sure.
Absolutely. And so many people are again, fear is the word that that I'll use a lot because people have fear of what's different or what's not what's different for real. You also said something that was interesting to me. Life is about 10% of what happened to you and 90% of how we react to it.
Where I said that at?
You said that on the
I know I say that, but where you heard that at?
on the Battle short film.
Oh, okay. That's a change mentality reality thing too.
Yep.
That's true. That's true.
Let me ask you this: why do you think? Not why do you think? Okay, so when hip hop first first came around, the message in hip hop was a positive message. It was a righteous message. It was, like the whole point of it was for us to bring the community together.
Right.
And then when mainstream, when big companies started, getting involved, the message started changing. But I mean, is it just that easy that just when the corporations came into play that that a new agenda was being pushed, or why do you think that the message went from community building to community tear down?
Same reason, money. Money got all that. When people say, "Oh, it's money, power, respect," it's all the same. All that go to money. People saw money as a way out. People saw money as a way to get a position, no matter what was being pushed. We can't blame the corporations. Everybody want me to come. Why you ain't coming at the labels? Because labels have come to me, and I made a decision. What are you talking about? Why am I coming at? I don't have to come at the record execs. I don't have to. I can put my main focus on the ones who, okay, somebody's shooting up your block. You finna call their dad and say, why the fuck is he over here shooting the block up?
Right.
Or you finna get out of Dodge or neutralize whoever the active shooter is.
Or even better, you gonna call Ruger? You gonna call, you know what I'm saying? Like you gonna go call like the companies that have made the weapons and try to like.
Yeah, exactly. Does that make sense? And yours was better. So cut that part out. Where he one up me, cut that.
God, no.
But now for real, that was better. You see what I'm saying? Exactly. Why would I do that? You know what I mean? So no, it's a lot of that is going on. People will say, why don't you hit the movies up, or why don't you? You have to understand what the machine is doing right now. And what the machine has been doing for a while is using the rappers. And everybody decided, Spitty, it wasn't nobody who could, listen, everybody had the decision of whether or not they were gonna push something that they knew was bull. And now people coming out now and saying we knew that was bull. So even in the beginning of hip hop, when they was doing all the dancey stuff that Tupac was talking about, and he saw it going more commercial, we was losing the soul in it then. But it's not on the companies and none of that. It's on everybody's decision that was just thinking about themselves in that moment, not understanding how big. Because if you got them coming to see what's going on with y'all, they know it's big. It's just that we overstand it. They were talking about, I say hip hop, whatever we thought hip hop was, pro-black, the leaders, all that's gone. We have to start over anew. It's all gone. Everybody was looking at Nas, it's not happening. It won't happen. Everybody waiting on Jay-Z, you're gonna die waiting. It's over. That part's gone. Everybody looking at, where's the black leader? It's over. The whole mentality has to shift, and that's what I'm doing. And I'm putting that pen in everybody's hand. I'm putting them shoes back on everybody's feet. I'm putting the steering wheel back in everybody. This is you. This is a you thing now collectively. If everybody keep I in mind, like you say, the I and I, collectively, then instead of trying to check whether or not somebody else's shoes tied, you got yours, and everybody own that. I'm gonna make the right music because it's the right thing to do, and I know the power of music. If the baby don't want to be called out, they need to step down and stop rapping. Stop being a star. If you don't want to be held accountable for your role in this, then just step down and I don't have it. Because they can't say it's just, I did a letter to Farrakhan. Am I picking and choosing? I did a letter to Rashad Jamal. You understand? If I feel like tomorrow I wake up, I do a letter to Spitty. You know what I'm saying?
Hey, no,
it's whoever at that time, I listen. Whoever at that time needs to be addressed.
Absolutely.
And it's because of your platform. Go ahead.
Yeah, because I also saw that you did a letter to D1, who's an artist who has openly challenged certain artists, and and he's even been put in a position where artists threatening him and things like that. But for you to even do a letter to him and speak on certain things,
No, I'm biased. I'm not going for it. You're not going to use this and make it fake. You're not going to Disneyfy Faze One. That's what they try to do. You see that, right? They'll come and say, well, let's go with everybody promote the safer version of him. You notice that. You get listen, the same way Farrakhan say Kendrick Lamar is the reason he opened up a new way for the new generation of rappers. Oh, did he do it? Is he still doing it? Or is it somebody y'all not mentioning and y'all do this every time? Then you'll have Kendrick Lamar mention D1. It's like a chain reaction. I wish I would have a heart like D1. D1, do you understand what I'm explaining to you? That's the safer route for them to go. Because you'll see D1 call out the safest gangsters to call out on the planet right now. Jim Jones, Rick Ross, and whoever the other nigga, Meek Mill.
Yeah.
That was the safest route to go. I'm not trying to be funny to them brothers. I'm just saying, if anybody would have said the level of danger, they would never have thought, okay, who did FaZe One call out? 21 Savage. I'm in his city.
Young Thug.
I'm in his city. Lil Baby, I'm in his city. Everybody, I probably done forgot how many. I think I called out everybody, I gotta check my list.
Yeah.
My point is, they go the safest route. Did D1 call out the Dragon Drake? When everybody was saying, did he call out Drake? Drake one of them biggest ones, right? But people see what Drake do. You see what happened to X. People be scared to go to war. That's my thing. You can't do that 3 times and dip.
Right.
Cause I'm still out here. I can't go to BET Awards and smile at everybody. They'll kill me. They have hip hop assassins waiting on the slip up moment. Why? It's because I can beat everybody ass? Probably not. Why? It's because I got bigger guns than everybody? Probably not. What's my threat?
That you can expose certain things that they don't want out there.
And
Or that you can even change the mindset of
what's acceptable.
Yeah.
That's the threat. And you know what's so crazy about our people, or the people, is they'll stand by and let it happen. And there'll be another story. You got people who will stand out there and say, crucify him. And somebody gonna come out, one you probably would have thought been out, be like, yo, I interviewed this man. I interviewed him. He everything he say is real. Still kill him. So how do I have to move? Why do I do this? Let me just give you, I'm gonna tell you a secret. This don't protect me. This don't protect me. What protects me is unseen. Everybody who loved me telling me, yo, why you doing this? You know they out here for you. I said, I done did everything. I literally put out a call, say, everybody send them prayers, say whatever you can. But I'm doing this. I'm at war. If they come, they come. But this is how, but can do all these other people that we talking about have to worry about that? No, they don't. And why? It's because it's universally accepted to be nice and gentle. Because nice and gentle don't get any of this stuff done. Everybody knows it. You become Disney, Goliath, David and Goliath. No giants die. No giants were harmed in the making of D1. No giants fall. You understand what I'm saying? No, again, for his family, the money he making, the feeding them, and everything he doing for his life, I respect him. This is different, D1. I'm not talking about that. That's your life. I love you. This that you don't really know nothing about, that people checking out daily for, this is different. If you're a fighter, have y'all ever seen D1 reach out to me? You ever seen me and D1 on a platform? Did he comment? And people tag him? They tag Keith Wallace. I'm a name dropper, just to get that out there. They tag on, and then nobody says anything. They let him fight by himself. So that's what it is. So I call him out to say, if you on business, stand on it. You don't call 3 people and then dip. You keep doing it.
Right, right.
That means you can't do shows. I could sell out any of these buildings. You can't do shows because that's your drop. You can't just post a flyer and say, I'm gonna be here. That's your drop. You understand that? So I paid attention to the whole thing. You with me? And again, I'm not wishing that on anybody that they be uncomfortable or anything like that. Everybody got the decision. I'm just saying, if you saying you are a thing, you have to be that by the time I get to you. Because then everybody else gonna see it. And he see it every time. You think he don't see his own letter? You think he don't hear his own letter?
I mean,
he don't think people. He don't think he see people tagging him all the time.
The way the algorithm work, like all these,
you're going to see
all these people are seeing it.
I used to think that too, though. Before I got big following, I used to think, man, it's hard for people. You see all that. You see every message. The cat's out the bag. Yeah. You literally see everything. You don't got time to respond to everything, but your notifications coming in. Yeah. Especially when it's priority. So when somebody tag you, that's a priority notification. Y'all, they see me. They see me, but this is another one of those stories. I'm gonna give you a line that's gonna be familiar. If everybody's so goddamn worried about me, why ain't nobody came out to help me? Who said that? Tupac.
Yeah.
If everybody's so goddamn worried about me, why nobody came out to help me? See what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's just me.
When you pulled up and had the vest on, I'm like, wow, is that serious?
Yeah, this is a real vest.
Yeah.
So it's that serious, but at the same time, like I told you, that ain't what protect me. It's just, it's a precaution. It's for the fabric of this reality.
Have you really had hits put out on, or people threaten you in your life?
For sure. Yeah, it's been a few situations that didn't even happen naturally. Somebody pulled up on me in Fairburn at a gas station, gun to my face out the window. His only words was, boy, what do you say? On everything, boy. On everything. And he couldn't pull the trigger. Ski mask and everything. I was just standing there, my wife at the pump. I said, yo, let's go. You understand? That's how we do. We pull up, she pumping because she know I'm on. I said, yo, let's go. The nigga was stuck on loop, saying on everything. Never pulled the trigger. House shot up. You understand? It's so many situations where it's like, some stuff I probably done spoke about already, forgot about, because it's just, but you just got to keep moving. The very next day, after the house got shot up, I addressed everybody and was telling them, yo, this was going on. The devil don't want Dr. Malachi York out. I'm still on a mission. You can't scare us. You know what I'm saying? You get a house shot up, you might realize, okay, let me get a vest. It might be a little serious, even though I had a vest already. So the point is, yeah, there's a lot of hits. They don't tell them from where they're coming from now, but my point is this any different from when Harold was like, find them? Do you hear what I'm saying for real? Is this any different when Harold was like, kill him? Matter of fact, Harold put the biggest hit out in history. Yeah. In the Bible, if you don't know who Harold is. Harold put the biggest hit out. That nigga said,
that was the one who put the hit out on Jesus. That made them go to Egypt to hide.
I don't think you hear me. He ain't just put a hit out on Jesus. That nigga said kill everybody 2 years old and younger.
Yes. And when the wise men didn't come back and tell him where Jesus was, he murdered like a whole city.
That's what I'm telling you.
They said the women wept at the silence because they couldn't hear their babies crying anymore. Yeah.
So I'm doing quite well compared to what Jesus had to deal with. My point is, this ain't nothing new. They do it all the time. They did it to Tupac. They would give Tupac warning saying they got hit. Pac said, I don't give a fuck. Yeah. So my point is, I'm just so grateful. I'm grateful to be able to sit and speak to you. I'm grateful for my brothers who showed up. Absolutely. I'm grateful I got to beat 10. This is the journey that is going to be such a beautiful moment whenever it's my time. Because that's how it goes, right? That's when everybody goes, dang, that's what he was saying. That's when you got them like, wake up. I get it now. I hear what you're saying now, come back. That's when we gone. Yeah. It's a beautiful thing, go ahead.
But so then, we see recently Yellow Beezy just got locked up, being charged with capital murder in the Mo 3, death from 2020. I mean, it's so crazy, like we having so many of these, fallen soldiers, and then artists, being accused or being, being accused of actually
of stuff that they said they did.
Right.
You gotta remember that. They been accused of shit they said they did. You know what I'm saying? I know they're probably a different thing we watch that type of stuff. Yeah. Niggas be admitting to it. And that's the biggest thing. They think art is just some hidden realm from the FBI. They think it's some hidden realm from the, I don't know why, I don't know. Let me tell everybody, it's not. You put it on the wax. Remember everybody was saying, oh, we need to protect black art. Right. When it came to Young Thug and them.
Right.
Listen, people were asking Thug to speak on the Mike Brown situation. They said, man, we here to just get some money. I don't care nothing about that. As soon as Young Thug handcuffs hit his wrist, he was screaming, find black people. Tell them come and help me. Right. I was, you dare? You dare? You dare ask whoever these black people are to come and assist you when you couldn't even, all they wanted was a comment. All they wanted was just share that moment with them. They didn't want apathy, they wanted empathy and sympathy. Yeah. No, we don't give a damn about none of that. So we weren't trying to hear none of that, oh, protect black art. No, they've been watching y'all since 2014, 15. And then your lyrics were aligning with what you were already suspects for. Can we get that clear? They're not just scrolling through Spotify and picking random songs and niggas say, and I shot up this house. And they're like, we got him. That's not how this works. They already got you on stuff. and you line it up with that's to sway the jury. Yeah. Chances are they already got other evidence.
Right.
You see what I'm saying?
It's crazy how, like with what we're talking about in terms of, challenging people to change like the content of their music and what they're doing. And then we have so many cases where lyrics are being, brought up in court and things like that. And like these things still don't trigger, people to want to change what they're talking about.
I think it changed a lot of people. It scared a lot of people. You hear Lil Baby and I'm talking about it. He said, you got to go in the studio, you got to be different now. Because he said, I see how society trying to do rappers.
Yeah.
It ain't really society. They don't want to say what's really happening. It's God. Say it like that. Because we ain't supposed to be on that type of timing anyway. This is a good thing. If the streets is dead, if the streets is dying, however they want to say it, that's good. You got in what you got in, you got out what you got out. Okay, if you can look at the situation and see that young niggas is taking over everything, you comfortable with that? You can't even relate to them to the point where they're the terrorists now. Okay, something went wrong. Because when it was Jeezy and influencing everybody wanted to be dope dealers.
Right.
Right? When T.I. and them, everybody wanted to trap. Okay, we had Youngboy. We had Jada Youngin. We had King Von. What you think we all want to grow up to do? So that's why we 15, 16, 17, 18, and say a word that we don't like. And then they don't understand what's happening with these. I was trying to tell you what was happening with us 10 years ago. But you told me it was just music and hip hop is going to evolve. Okay, well, it evolved into a generation of terrorists that you can't do nothing about or with. Because the only way you can do something about that, you have to be authentic enough. They just got to hear it in your tone. That's it.
Right.
You can't be trying to, all that, what you think is gangster, it ain't gangster no more. That ain't what gangster mean no more. All the stuff that y'all were talking about in the music, my generation and younger, we're really that. Meaning the ones who don't care about life.
Yeah.
We know niggas care about life because they got on jury. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Was that a bar? we know you got as big, you're telling me how much it is. You care about life.
Right.
You don't see none of the young niggas get out on no drills. They be dressed the most rack, they don't care. So who gonna reach them? How do we reach them? The only way to reach them is through your soul. And you gotta have one. Yeah. And these artists don't want to admit they lost theirs a long time ago. So then they see me, they upset with me.
Or maybe sold it.
And they did. And you want to get rid of the one who has it. And all I'm saying is, if we want to bridge this finally, let's just deal with everything truthfully. Don't talk about teachers and master teachers without mentioning Dr. Malachi York. I don't want to hear it. That don't even make sense. Same way, how you gonna talk about niggas who could shoot three-pointers and not mention Steph Curry?
Right.
And if we was taking score, wouldn't it make sense to, if somebody gonna say, I shoot better than Steph Curry, let me see a record. Just pull out the record. I'm the master teacher this time. I'm surpassed Dr. York. In order for you to surpass him, you have to be able to do more than what he's done. Same thing, okay, if anybody out here that's gonna be really about the people, make them show it. You're not gonna be biased.
Right.
Go ahead, I'm listening.
No, but so many of these black leaders, people who have, spread the knowledge, it's like it's almost like, they try to erase them out of the history books, you know what I'm saying? Like people like Marcus Garvey, you know what I mean?
Yep.
And you look at, just, Dr. King and like his family and how, you know what I mean? Like they just, like how they aren't treated right or how they aren't, you know what I'm saying?
And we allow that. We allow that.
Malcolm X's family, like just the financial state that they've been left in, like.
We allow it. They're allowing Dr. Malachi York name to be, they're trying to wipe it. And the people who own some woke shit, conscious shit, whatever they want to call it, leadership, ascension, there's so many names to it. You're going to have to remove the name eventually and just do the work.
Yeah.
Whoever's on that, how you going to leave them out? It just doesn't. But then I step up and then you start putting two and two together. You see everybody with each other.
Yeah.
But then if you come and you pushing Dr. Malachi York, they want to move you out the way.
Yeah.
So my point is, we're letting it happen. The people have to stop that. You know what I mean? Remember they were showing, remember Martin Luther King used to be darker. Some of y'all remember that. I don't really personally remember that. I'm born 98. But he used to be darker, right?
Yeah.
Generation after generation, he gonna look like, what a nigga, John B. You know what I'm saying? If people don't say, yo, we gotta You know what I'm saying? So I'm saying, if the people move forward and be like, we're not gonna let that happen, they're not gonna be able to erase us.
Yeah, that's real. Can you talk about your song, F Black History?
F Black History, yes I can.
What inspired you to create that song?
I never liked Black History Month because it's just an oxymoron. It never made sense. And I despise and reject the idea that you can give me acknowledgement for what my ancestors went through, or that you can give me acknowledgement for being birthed with a melanin dominant. I never needed that.
Right.
So that's a disrespect, that's a mock. Oh, Black History Month. What do you mean month? What are you talking about?
Right.
This is the month that y'all can care about it. And then they give you a range. I said, okay, cool. Well, I said, I want to pick the year 30. I said, you can't go back that far. What do you mean I can't go back that far? You got 1619, 1492 if we feel happy. 1619 to now. I said, that's 400 years is my history?
Right.
Notice they say Black history. They don't say your personal history month. Here go your trick. The reason why they don't say that is because some of y'all in here, y'all don't have Black ancestors. You have Native American ancestors, American Indian ancestors. So you go back far enough, they be like, what you doing? Oh, I thought you said it was Black history. No, you gotta go over there to Nat Turner.
But the Native Americans, I mean, some of those, they were Black too.
They were melanin dominant. They had the melanin dominant gene.
Yes.
Black meaning those who were brought from the state of Africa.
Got you. Yeah.
Or the division. Listen to my words. The state of Africa, the division, and they lost their identity. And they don't have a nation. They don't know. We don't know what nation they can tie back to.
Right.
But then you go back further and say you weren't even a part of that. Yes, there were Native Americans or American Indians who were brought into what they called in the slave trade, or they were prisoners of war.
Yeah, yeah.
You understand that? So then they too lost their identity, and then you got everybody thinking that everybody bloodline traced back to a ship that landed somewhere. That doesn't work that way. You get what I'm saying? So my point is, Black history is an oxymoron. I don't agree with it. And I don't think anybody should be celebrating it. If you want to celebrate something, go back and trace your own genealogy. Then you'll find out, maybe the person you sitting next to, guess what? They trace back far enough, you're gonna be squinting your eyes at them for the rest of your life. Why? Because this nigga was a descendant of a slave owner. You go back further enough, you see, you used to be a conquistador. Why you walking around talking? Give me that dashiki. I probably messed the mic up. You see what I'm saying? Give me that dashiki. We good still? You see, because you start realizing their ancestors had a hand in it. Mm-hmm. Do you know what I mean? That you could go back far enough and find Caucasoids in your ancestry.
Yep.
So then what is Black history? What does that mean? Mm-hmm. You ask the average person, have they done a genealogy at least? And they haven't.
Right.
So F Black history was just a shout out call to the Moors, right? It was a shout out call to the indigenous American Indian families. It was a shout out call to everybody to say, no matter what they think, even if it's through me, it's not over. That was a dog whistle, if you want to call it that. It's not over, because right now we're dealing with a war on sovereignty, where they're making it harder for people to become, because you're born sovereign. But they're making it harder for people to claim sovereignty. They're making it harder for people to tie back to the mother tree. Why are they doing that? Because a lot of people hit the internet and was talking too much about certain things they didn't understand yet. And every time they say, here go the process to go get this number, this form, da-da-da. Agent Smith was like, bet. And they said they changed it. Yeah. Now you can't, now it ain't 2 documents, now you need 13 to get that. War on sovereignty. So the fight is for sovereignty. The fight is for the white tile. If you're gonna go for anything, and it's not back there, it's right here. So we don't celebrate Black history, it don't make sense. Martin Luther King is not my ancestor. I salute him for whatever it was that he did. Why every Black History Month, every 28 days of February, or 29 depending, why y'all wanna just keep putting them people in front of us? If they keep picking the people that's the Black, that should make you think something. Rosa Parks, Black history.
Right.
Malcolm X, Black history. Nat Turner, Black history. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, yeah.
It's a game, family. Pro-Black is a game. Look, it's right there in the statement. Professionally Black. How you professionally Black? None of this stuff makes sense. If you're Black, as in your pigment, which is not black, it's brown.
Right.
Let's say you were Black as your pigment. What does that have to do with being professional?
Right.
Let me tell you why. You're professionally keeping people in the dark. That's what they sign up to do. They know they sign up to do it. Politicians sign up to do it. No disrespect to those people who might believe it, but the NAACP stands for not actually assisting colored people. Because what? We love Al Sharpton. Okay, Al Sharpton has not helped us, but we love him.
Yeah.
Okay, Sean King, we don't know where he came from. We don't even know he's a king or not. Nobody checked. But these are people, they're businessmen. And people have to understand the difference between someone who is in it for the business or for the passion of a thing. Some people might not like what I'm about to say. Anybody that was pushing Trump as a racist is an op. Anybody that was a leader out here pushing Trump is a racist and we got to get him out, that's an op. Because they stripped you of the opportunity to deal with what was going on in your realm at that time. Had you looking all the way over here at one man. You can't say, well, he's the president. It might not hold up much because y'all tried to arrest him every 3 hours.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? They keep throwing up the felony thing. They have nothing to do with him being president. It's because these people were gaming. They used the George Floyd thing to game. It was all political.
Yeah.
And now they still holding on to it. And they excited now because he's back in office so they can run it again. They can make more money, sell more t-shirts, more ideas, more podcasts, more conventions. And I'm melanin dominant, very intelligent, and I'm not a Trump supporter. People ask, are you a Trump supporter? Excuse me, respectfully. Trump need to be a FaZe supporter. What I look like? I supported Trump. Supported him what?
Right.
He don't need support. You know who this man is? You know what he has? You know the family he tied to? You know who John G. Trump is?
Oh, yeah.
You heard of Nikola Tesla? Do you understand what we really dealing with? What is Trump never needed anybody to support him?
Right.
That's TV. I'm just telling y'all the game. And all y'all Christians should know the game you in because that's Trump. And the first Trump was blown. And then they said when the last Trump will be blown, everybody will have to be changed, but not everybody will sleep. Kamala, the name showed you lotus, the sleepy flower. They call Biden Sleepy Joe.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. For me to stop this from getting too political, let me just explain what I'm saying clearly. Everybody has a choice. And if they told you Trump was the enemy, it's the exact, listen, if you want the dead giveaway or the live getaway or the live giveaway, go see who was talking against Trump. That's it. It's that simple.
Yeah.
It's not even polarization at that point. Just go look. Everybody who was talking against Trump, just go look and see what their plans were. What have they done? What have they accomplished? You understand? And now Trump do something that they say is big and it could work for the community. Or they told people don't watch the union address.
Right.
They said don't watch what the president of the United States is about to say. Candace Owens put together a documentary and said they didn't tell y'all everything there was to know about the George Floyd thing. These Democrats told these people, don't watch it. That's when I get alarmed. Because you can't tell me that I'm only supposed to listen to this side.
Right.
That doesn't make sense. And they don't happen on the Republican side. I've been over there. I'd have been to their rallies. You want to know who I saw? Niggas. Intelligent. Informed. Niggas.
Yeah.
But you want to know what CNN shows? They say, can we get y'all three over here? And it's white folks.
Right.
they happy because they done had a few beers, so they say, whoa! And they take that clip and they say, it's white supremacists, 3 niggas. The rest of it, they don't show the Asians, they don't show the Hispanics, they don't show nobody else. As soon as I pull up to the, the rally they had or the meeting they had, they handed me, constitutions. Are you familiar with the 12th Amendment? Get on that, brother. Da-da-da-da. Everybody out there together. They don't show that. Trump supporters don't ride around in pickup trucks. Some niggas ride around in Prius and Escalades.
Yeah.
And you want to know who some of the biggest Trump supporters is in the community? Niggas in the hood.
Yeah.
Because they smarter than what people want to give them credit for. And they say, oh, y'all, it's about the money. It ain't about the money. We just like real shit. But again, I'm not personally a Trump supporter. I'm a truth supporter.
Nah, totally.
And I would rather a nigga stand there and tell me some real shit that he ain't reading off a teleprompter.
Right.
Than a nigga to be sitting there trying to read some shit he can't even understand. They got to keep waking him up.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, what has happened to us?
Man, when I talk like this, like at my family functions, they all think I'm a Trump supporter, and I'm like, nah, I'm just like on the same tip. Like it's like if the truth is in front of us, like I'd rather hear that than to have a wool over my eyes and then be pushed in a whole nother.
Like, let me ask you a question. You remember when Kanye West said slavery was a choice?
Yeah.
What if I told you he never said that? See, whatever just happened in your brain, you wise enough to give it time. Other people, I would have been bricked and stoned already by now. Ye never said that. The realm was so convincing. I heard this nigga say, yeah, like when I said that, he never said that though. To this day, in the comment section, anybody who can find a clip of Kanye West or Ye saying slavery was a choice, those 4 words, if you can find Ye saying in that interview on TMZ, slavery was a choice, I owe you $1,000. I owe you $1,000. If you can find him in that interview saying slavery was a choice. He never said that. But you want to know what the media does? They run with that. Those 4 words. 4 words, a curse word, put you in 4 corners. Trump is a racist. Slavery was a choice. You know what I'm saying? This nigga FaZe wildin'. You get what my point is, if you go and listen again, you're gonna hear that he didn't say that, but the media doesn't have to tell you. He specifically said this. But then they can run with that. When they said Trump said there were 5 people on both sides? You ever heard people say that? You ever heard something like that when they were saying that Trump was at one of the meetings or the rallies or speeches and he said, yeah, they had 5 people on both sides. They said he was talking about the KKK and the... If you didn't hear that, they did run with that, but you'll listen to, I think it's turned into the Trump section. So this will be the Trump segment, FaZe on Trump. And but my point is, he never said that. And if you listen to it, he said immediately after what he was saying, I'm not talking about the Nazis, I'm not talking about, they need to be condemned. But every time they got him on the news, when this nigga's supposed to be running to be the president, or is the president at that time, he's supposed to be saying some shit that matter. Every time they got him on the news or every time they got him in the interview, they asked him, do you denounce white supremacy? Right. He said, nigga, how many times do I gotta do that shit? If I ask you, what's your name? What's your name? Spitty, right?
Yeah, I'm gonna say Spitty.
What's your name?
Spitty.
What's your name?
You guys mean my government?
What's your name? What's your name?
Spitty.
What's your name? Right? It get a little uncomfortable. Okay, after a while, especially in the light of the conversation, but after a while, you're gonna get irritated, right? Yeah, that's when they get him. Yeah. They ask him 79 times, what's your name? On the 80th time, say, why you keep asking? Right. See, Trump gets upset when he's asked. Right. Anybody would. You keep asking him. My brain, though, right? It's my fault. That's why you never see me on my page talking about politics, because I lose people. Yeah, nah, for sure. I would. I'm saying, if I were out here pushing and telling people what's going on with that, they can't handle it. You know what I mean? And that's that polarization. Man, during your journey and, you know what I mean, like, do you consider yourself a freedom fighter? Do you consider, you know what I mean, like when people call you that, like? No, I don't consider myself a freedom fighter. I just see what needs to be done and I do it. I see what needs to be done and I do it. I don't see myself as like I said, all that's over. All that's over. I could be Farrakhan. I know how to be Farrakhan. Because we saw how to be Farrakhan. That's over. Yeah. This has to be something new. There are people listening to me that are like 3 years old, 4 years old. We don't know what they're going to become yet. I don't want them to be no freedom fighters. Yeah. I want them to be physicists. What's one of the biggest life lessons that you learned? Did you hear what I said? That's one of them. That don't waste your time with what other people put out as narratives and spawned into your communities for you to fight for. The biggest lesson I learned is stand in the center, be able to take the middle path. That's the real path that's least traveled now. You got your left and your right. You gotta go over here, they hate that. Talking to me, you can't put me in a box. So they hate it. Because where can I got him now. Yeah. Oh, you just said this. Yeah, but I don't care about that no more. I only said that because we was on that part of the conversation. Right. You know what I'm saying? Depending on what you want me to, if we're talking to a Christian, I'll say God, Jesus. Muslim, I'll say Allah, Isa, right? Musa, Moses. You understand what I'm saying? Where can you box me? The thing is, who can I talk to? Who can I deal with? Who can I sit with? I don't want freedom fighters. I want scientists. Let me say that differently. We don't need freedom fighters. We need scientists. We need engineers. We need artists. We need people who are truly spiritual.
Yeah.
We need mothers. We need fathers. We need people who care about the community. I don't care about you putting on a suit, standing in front of me saying, we got to fight white supremacy. I don't care about that. Yeah. Sit me down with the one who's been studying quantum mechanics, and we're going to build. Because I can take that science and bring it to the community and say, family, have you looked at things on the most smallest unit you could look at it and turn it into analogies they can use? And we can't do anything with whoever this ghost is called the man.
FaZe, what else you working on, bro? What else you got coming up that you excited about?
Right now, just getting to more people. I'm working Instagram a lot. Just getting to more people. I just want people to follow. You might not agree with what I'm saying. You know, somebody asked me, why'd you push Dr. York to everybody? I said, whatever it is that he's done, I see that it's interesting enough that other people should look into it. So I'm working on getting Dr. Malachi York out of prison. I'm working on people knowing what the situation is. He's 80 years old. He's been in there 22 years. These people been mistreating him, mishandling him, won't give him medicine, all this stuff. And he's still doing what he's supposed to be doing, still fighting, maintained his innocence to this point, and he's ready to come home. So I need the people to know he's innocent. I need the people to know, go watch The Untold Truth of Dr. York, if you don't do nothing else. The Untold Truth of Dr. York, go watch it. All these other documentaries, these people be getting money to do when they got money to put out. There's a documentary they don't want nobody to see. Yeah. So all the stuff from the beginning, what was going on. Years ago, I was a little one. So what I'm working on now is letting people know Nuwaubian exists. I can give you Dr. Malachi York meditation music if you need it. Anybody under spiritual attacks, go listen to that. All you have to do is do it. For the record, I'm not telling anybody to follow him. I'm not telling anybody to be a student up under him and worship him. I'm not saying none of that. I'm saying test it. Just test it. Test the information, the knowledge, the tones, and everything. And let more people know it's out here. Anybody talking that woke stuff, okay, put them to the test. Ask them, you ever heard of Dr. York? And see what they say. And if it's anything negative, you know why now.
Man, it's been such a dope, insightful convo, bro.
For sure.
Real. You got any shout outs you want to give before you get out of here, FaZe?
Oh, shit. Where my award? I would like to give, hold on.
And that's real honey.
Real honey. I don't henny, I honey.
Huh.
All right? So
what's the science behind that?
It's anti-inflammatory. You know, I had to get back on it because for a while I stopped doing it.
Right.
But those who I talk a lot, so it helped my voice, as you can see. But asthma, different ailments. It's anti-inflammatory. Say what? Huh? Oh yeah, for sure, that too. All right, yes, that's my guy Stevie Baz here. Shout out Stevie Baz. Shout out Spitty Will. Shout out Ted, my brother.
Unique God.
Who?
Unique God.
You meet God?
Unique God.
Unique God. Shout out Unique God. Shout out the one who pushed me out, my mother, my Umi, Tefnut, Divine. Shout out her. Shout out the whole family and everybody who's here. Shout out y'all, because let me tell you something. You saw this, it's for a reason. If you seen this, you was on your way somewhere, right? You ain't know where you was going. I don't know where you're going either, but you found your way here. This is center point. Shout out to you.
Yes,
and one more thing, the most important thing for me to put out here now, same name I've been saying, to all the family, Rahubat, it's not over. Dr. Malachi York. Shout out to Dr. Malachi York. Right. I wouldn't be this that you see without what he gave. And I had to use it now. Just because he gave it don't mean people used it.
Right.
It's not over. So much love to the master teacher of all time, Dr. Malachi York. I said we were gonna bring Nuwaubian to the big screen. The NFL will bring me on. What's the last word? I say Nuwaubian.
Huh.
Go find it. It's real and it works for any community. You don't have to be this. Whatever, just do it the right way. Look out for your children. You know what I mean? Anybody want to talk about what? Oh, this is the future. They always talk about some technology or some cryptocurrency stuff.
Yeah.
The future is the children. You know what I mean? Another thing he gave on one more thing. He was saying, if you saw a Caucasoid baby or a white baby, as some people say, floating in the river during a hurricane, and you stand there and say, oh, I'm not gonna help that baby because they white. He said, then you be the devil. This is not no black thing with me. I love my people. Stop playing. I love my people. I still love all people.
Absolutely.
In the same way we said, we just gonna raise our children over here. No, we need to look out for everybody's children.
Yeah.
You need to be clean for everybody. I'm just re-speaking what he already said. So, question for everybody before we check out. If Dr. Malachi York said it was about the children, making sure the children were reached fully so that we could complete our transformation, and you're looking at me, and I was one of the children, did he do what he said he was here to do? Does it work? Nuwaubian works.
Absolutely. Yes, sir. Appreciate you pulling up, bro.
Thank you.
Jumping off the porch with us.
I'm a soldier, I always survive. I'll constantly come back. You know what I mean? Only thing that can kill me is death. That's the only thing that'll ever stop me is death.